Hey everybody, so we're going to be doing a rather lengthy video showing how I did a dining area slash garden slash loft build in my back room. So my original plan was I wanted to have a breakfast nook over here by the windows, and I'd just have like little stairs coming up to it, flat floor right up against this window sill or whatever they're called. So my initial idea of what to place there is I wanted to go kind of Zimmerman-esque. Zimmerman bench. My original thought was I was going to take a bunch of these, and this is... I forget how much these cost from the Zimmerman vendor. There's another version of these that are a platinum item, but I believe the ones I just grabbed are not the platinum version. Okay, let me find the orientation I had on these, so it will be a moment. Here we are. So the bottom of the benches. My original thought was I was going to have a few of these stacked out from the windowsill and just have a very thin, short area for the breakfast nook. And I was also going to use this windowsill as areas I can like walk around, place items and whatnot. Couple reasons why I didn't end up doing this. One, it didn't really look so great with a bunch of these stacked, one from another. Two, at the time, it produced these really weird shadows underneath. It's not an issue now after the February 6, 2025 update. It ended up doing a lot of light and shadow fixes in the back room. But I instead opted to go for a much larger option so I wouldn't have to stack a bunch of things. So the Zimmerman, let's find it. Wall panel large. This, at max size, is freaking huge. Let's get this rotated too. I think that's about right. So this ended up being my loft flooring. Let's get this better aligned with the windowsill. And not intersecting with me. There we go. A little lower. It's not wanting to go much lower. It's either intersecting me if it's intersecting with something else, but we'll go with that for now. My guess is it probably did not want to intersect with this hanging light right here. But this is good enough because I'm just showing you guys an example. So this I also put on as a kind of extra flooring decoration. Let me find it. Zimmerman plinth. There are two different versions of this you can get from the Zimmerman. This is the cheaper option. Like I think I want to say 5K. I don't know if I'm remembering the right value correctly. There's another one that head doesn't have the little backing on it. That's I think you might be able to get larger, but it costs like 40 or 60K rep instead. So I opted for this one. Now I didn't want the plinth thing there because it's blocking the window. So we rotated that. So we got kind of a flat golden flooring. I just made it kind of, again, kind of flush with that wood. And had it over this, I did get it when I put it down originally, pushed back further, so that it was hidden behind the arsenal and behind the curtains. Let's see if I can do it real quick, I'll show you. Yeah, close enough. It was hidden better, but we'll just leave it like that. Now, reasons why I ended up not opting for this area. One, ordinarily when you push furniture through the window, or through a wall, it's hidden behind that. if you push it through the window, you can see it through the window. So I didn't like that. Also, the lighting coming off of this. You see here, light coming in from the windows. You can see that window lighting here. It's placed on this loft flooring. It used to be down here. You can see kind of a smidgen of it blinking in and out right here. It's because my character's semi-hiding it. I liked having that light from the windows showing on the floor. Yeah, it's like a little hard to see, but there's like rays of light coming down. I didn't like that being hidden, so that is a primary reason why I also decided not to have the loft here. But option I went for instead was to put it on the opposite side of the room, which is what you're seeing over there right now. So because I wanted these lights back on the floor, and, well, you can see what I'm tucking through the wall/window, I opted not to go for the design right here. Actually, let me show you one other reason I didn't go for it if I had the furniture. Speaking of lighting, let's oh, it's a Duviri table I'm looking for. I wanted to give everything kind of a Duviri-esque theme for the most part for this. Let's see if he'll let me place it. Let's shrink this down. Oops. Oh. Now the lighting has changed since February 6, 2005, the update that day, so it might not be showing the exact thing I saw back then. But let's see if it does real quick. I'm just going to put some random items on the table that are on the small side. Yeah, it actually is looking far better now than it did then, but one issue I noticed that it's not really showing up quite as much anymore since the lighting improvements is everything I placed here by the window got severely washed out light-wise. It didn't look very good. So I'm like, okay, I want any items I want to place, I want to keep it away from the window. It does look like that's mostly fixed right now, so this actually doesn't look too bad. But yeah, at the time, oh, it was not a good look. But yeah, another reason, as much as I wanted to use this window ledge space, can't walk into it. So that's a bunch of like second floor loft space that I can't make use of. So I didn't like that either, because I wanted to make use of that space. Like I could put objects there, no problem, but I wanted to be able to walk there. Couldn't do it. So yeah, another reason I left that out.
What we do is up to us. I could cook us a meal. We could even get drunk. So, I've missed feeling safe enough to let my guard down.
Now, since I was going with a second floor loft, I needed to have some sort of stairs to reach it. My first thought was I can piggyback off the stairs back here and just take stairs and just build them up through and reach the loft area up here. Dismissed that thought very quickly, mainly because there's these curtains in the way that I don't know if we can get rid of them, but I didn't want to get rid of them because I like them. I just didn't like I tried it out, I didn't like the look of like curtains intersecting the stairs. And plus like a straight go through from here, climbing upstairs all the way to here, go straight through the curtain. I did not like that option. So the other option I went for instead is to build stairs off this balcony. I tried multiple different stair options. Like, let me show you a few real quick. One of the first I tried was these Duviri Senate seats. Just had those stacked kind of like this. These are enlarged all the way. They're not quite as wide as the balcony here, but they might be good enough for your option if you want to give it a try. I believe, however, the reason I ended up not using this is because the back of this Duviri Senate seat chair actually clipped through the floor below, so you could actually see it through the ceiling. Like, let's actually try that real quick. Well, let me place it. It will be close enough. Yep. So that was a problem. Other things I tried out, Duviri mugs, Duviri thermoses. They're pretty big for mugs and thermoses. Opted out of using this one because these are as large as they get, and I didn't think they were wide enough. I wanted something a bit wider for the stairs. So here's one at the bottom. This is as large as it gets. I wanted something larger for stairs, so I opted not to use that one. A couple other things I tried. This one's Solaris Supplies decoration. It's wide enough, but I didn't like the design theme for it. I was going for the that wood bottom for the floor for the loft, and I didn't think this matched very well, so opted out of that one, even though it was a good size for it. The initial plan I had for stairs, and this is back when I was using that Zerman bench, is trying to make a flooring with a bunch of those. These Zerman cabinets, the low long ones, not the low short ones. The low short ones, they even at its largest size are not very wide, but these low long ones, shrink them to its smallest size. They're actually just about perfect. You can make them slightly large if you want. So they're a good size for stairs for this like balcony if you want to use it. It worked well when I was trying to do that, use a bunch of Zerman benches to try to make like a kind of a tiny loft floor here. But for the wooden loft floor, it was again color scheme clash. So even though it worked very well as stairs, size-wise, width-wise, whatnot, I opted not to use that. But great option. But these are great options for stairs if you want to make stairs of elsewhere with a different color scheme going. So what I ended up using, and these will show up, even though these are 0 platinum items. For some reason, they show up under the market menu. Maybe these used to be in the in-game market, I don't know. These you actually get from Grandmother for some amount of tokens. And a Deimos at that Necrolisque. So I got some of these. Enlarged them as large as I can get it. And just flipped it upside down. So there's our flooring for the stairs with the gold to go with the wooden flooring. So, not width-wise, these are as large as it gets. It doesn't cover like the whole width of the balcony. We'll go into why it worked for me in a second. So this one, second one stacked slightly larger. The third one is kind of resting on the top of the balcony, what do you call it? Not ledge. Railing. There we are. So that ended up working out pretty well for me. So yeah, kind of color-wise it matches, make for pretty decent stairs. Now the one thing I didn't like is how it looked from the side. I wasn't too big of a fan of that. So I just decided to hide it with a Duviri Modesty screen, which you can get from Akrithis, the Duviri vendor, for Enignum Gyma rooms. So instead of having 3 of these up here, I just had 4 of them up here instead. I opted, at least for now, not to put a 5th up, because I typically, if I'm on the 2nd floor, I want to go to the 1st, I'll typically just jump off the balcony and I'll do it from there. But design-wise, like a 5th one right there would probably look better, but yeah, maybe I'll put that one on there someday. So, now over here when I was showing you the floor I was creating, I had one of these Duviri wall panels, the single large ones. It wasn't quite wide enough at the largest size to reach the balcony, so I just took a regular old Duviri wall panel, put it next to it. I don't have it like design-wise like fully matching up. I don't have the lines fully matching up with like these diagonal lines. They're not fully matching up between each other. The important part for me was just to get the height on these matched up so it looked like one kind of blended in with the other. Now, tricky part for these though is these two Even if with the large panel at the smallest width and the smaller panel at the largest size, so small size here, larger size here, they aren't the same width. So I just for appearance sake, I made these both match up at the bottom. But there is a teeny blip at the top. You can see right here. But I figured, you know what? It works. It's okay. I'm alright with that. It can be covered with a rug. I opted not to put a rug or something there for now, but... And there are multiple rug options that you can get for free. Like Barrow has a really nice one when he's available. Sometimes these Ostron rugs, they are market items. Sometimes they're Twitch drops. The Barrow rugs over here, it's a little bit in the dark right now, but there are options to hide that if you so choose. Now, my first thought on hiding the little join point right here, where it was just throw some plants in the way and kind of like a hanging vines thing going down. I'm still in the process of tweaking that. But my thought was, let's kind of hide it with these plants. And if I'm going to put them at the join point, I might as well put it across everything. These are a ton of Zeraman plants. These took a while to get, which is actually one reason that it took me so long to build this video is I have a lot of Zeraman plants in here. There's at least 60. And when you get only 3 to 4 a day, yeah, that takes a while. So, before we head up on the top, one thing I do want to mention, which I'm actually glad this video took a while for because a fix came in. Before the February 6, 2025 fixes came in with the Backroom, if you had either I had up here, or if you had above this concrete ceiling here, if you had any items placed, like, let's say, this bed I built, these screens, this ticker floof, the shadows of them would actually appear on the ceiling above. It looked really, really ugly. But that happened here. You guys might have seen it yourself. It also happened here with every single item I placed above, whether it's a table, a bed, whatnot, couch, whatever, a pot, it all showed up. The shadows on the ceiling. So I hated that. Ugly look, but I tried to come up with a way I could like hide that by like hiding items into these panels to see if it could block the shadows. Just trying covering them up with something. It didn't look really well. I like the look of this wood grain for the flooring / ceiling, so couldn't find anything that would work. So thankfully they fixed that issue. Hopefully it stays fixed. But the one thing that didn't get fixed is this, I'm assuming, shadow, this dark block right up here. I don't know the source of that. I'm assuming it's not from an item I put down. I'm assuming it's from, if you look right above, there's this vent pipe in the vent. I'm assuming it's coming from that, so it's just like a static backroom item. I have not been able to find a way to hide that either. Hopefully that gets fixed as well. It's just a bug at this point. But also looks kind of ugly. Nothing I've been able to do about it, unfortunately. So hopefully that'll be fixed in a future build. Now, since I had this this dining area, it is all the way up here. It is a bit of a walk from the kitchen. So you literally have to go up these stairs, through the room up there, to the balcony, up this little set of stairs to the loft. So that's an awful lot of way to like deliver food that you're gonna eat. So my thought is maybe could be some of you guys who aren't familiar with this concept. There's these things called dumb waiters. You also might know them as food elevators, which in some housing, I think more in older housing than newer housing, you might have a situation where like the kitchen is on one floor, but the dining area is on another floor. So they're literally these small elevators built into the walls whose purpose was just to transfer food, dishes and whatnot between floors. We can't really do the embedded into the wall thing here because you can't like knock out part of the wall. So what I ended up doing is just having something just sticking out slightly from the wall. I ended up giving it a track of sorts for it to travel up and down. This circle down here is meant to represent a gear. And same with the circle up here. a gear, so hypothetically these would be churning as the elevator is moving up and down. And to kind of represent that this food elevator goes between floors, I end up taking the object I use as the actual elevator point, and I stuck it just below the floor. So you can barely just see what I end up using for the food elevator. Now, for the track I use, they're Zimmerman floor lockers. Let's see if it lets me put them out. Where's the right button? I rotated them so that the flat dark back is as flush against the wall as it allowed me. And also these like 2 lines right here are kind of a guide grid of sorts for the elevator. So that's just 3 of those. The bottom one is embedded into the floor somewhat. I think I made these as large as I could. I think I probably did the same for this foot locker up here, which actually represents the actual foot elevator part. For the gears, they're made up of 2 options. One of them is a Zimmerman Granum crown decoration. I don't know if I have other Zimmerman, or sorry, not Zimmerman. I get the name right. I see Z, I think Zimmerman. Zenith Granum crown decoration. Thank you. So these Granum crown decorations, if you guys have ever done Sisters of Parvos, when you go into the Granum realm to get however many kills you need, you can get these from getting Zenith ones from getting 25 kills or more. It's a possible drop. Any other time you hop into the Granum realm, whether it's with the highest level crown, the lowest level crown, these are a possible drop if you get enough kills. I've done plenty of Sisters of Parvos, so I have a lot of those Zenith ones. I think it's under the tenant menu. I believe my regular Granum crown decoration is actually in use somewhere, but what you do with these, let's find a place that'll let me put it. There we are. Press them against the wall, constrain movement, local. Just embed them into the wall until just a circle showing. There, it's not letting me. Let's try it over here. It totally let me do. Another reason it might not be letting me doing this is because, oh, my little track with the foot lockers is actually sticking out from the wall a bit. But let's try it here. So, local, push against the wall until just a circle showing. There we go. Now the middle part, you actually have multiple options here. I'll tell you 3 I know of. The first one, in which I actually think is not the best of options, is the arbitration statue. So you can get these from the Arbiters of Hexus vendor who sells items for doing arbitrations. So you get those, let me double check the name of those again. You get these Vitus Essence that you can get for doing arbitrations. The vendor that you would turn in the Vitus Essence to, one of the items you can get...
I'm not worrying, honestly. But sometimes I think, what if one day you just punch the floor again and all this goes away? Like a dream that I don't even get to remember.
But yeah, one of the options you can get, I want to say it was for 15 Vitus Essence. I don't remember the exact price off the top of my head. But you can get this arbitration statue as an option. Let's see if it'll let me move it out. Let's try it again. I pushed it the wrong way. Oh. There we are. So this thing. Now, the big reason why I don't like this one, but I still have it in there anyway, the little flagpole thing, you could kind of see it down there. It's a little hard to see, but it kind of shows up down there. So if you just, when you have this highlighted, it shows up with the highlight. So depending on what you have for your, if you're doing this like elevator guide, if I had this away, it does stand out a bit more. but because it's the same color, it kind of blends in. But the reason I put this one in and left it in is this arbitration statue, always available. Another one I did, this is, I believe I got this as an item from Nabarus, so the Halloween event. Noggle statue of Arlo. Let's see if it'll let me... Oh, wrong way again. That also has that same bottom. So yet another option, and I don't have it in here right now. I have it in my orbiter though. There's an event going on at the time of recording called Star Days. One of the items you can pick up from Ticker is a Necromech statue. That should also have the same bottom. But again, that's another one that isn't available year-round. So if you want this and Star Days, Nabarus are not available, the arbitration statue is going to be your best bet. There might be another statue that has the same bottom. I just don't know of any off the top of my head. But those are 3 possible options, all 0 platinum you can go for. There might even be some in-market options. I didn't look into that because I wanted to go for 0 platinum options for this, but it can give you a combination of that, and the outer outline of the crown can give you kind of a nice gear type effect. Unfortunately, I couldn't find anything to simulate good ropes for that entire length, but we're just going to kind of pretend they're there. So yeah, the actual food elevator, like I mentioned, Zariman footlocker open. I ended up putting shelves in there. The bottom one, I made it to kind of represent the bottom of the elevator more than anything. So it's not so much a shelf as it is just an elevator bottom. This is using the boot trophy. This is a blueprint that you can get from, I believe, the business in Fortuna. It's definitely a Fortuna blueprint for 10k rep. You will need, at the very least, if you ever do fishing on Fortuna, sometimes you will pick up a boot. Let me get the exact name of that. Sometimes when you're fishing on Plains of Eidolon, you can get a boot as well. But this takes a particular type of boot. Crewman's boot. This is the one you'd want. So the blueprint for that boot trophy contains this crewman's boot. It contains something else as well. I don't remember what's. Could be plastic, some sort of metal, I don't know. But that will create that boot trophy. And but I believe I have some others of these made. I do not. Oh, no, there we are. Boot trophy. So they don't get very large, so I just enlarged this as big as it can get. But if you flip it upside down, let me actually move this to a point where it'll actually let me place it. Okay, so I'll just have it float right here. So flip it upside down. The back of the trophy could actually make like a nice bottom for something. However, you'd also have the potential issue of, and we actually don't have it here, which is nice. The boot part of this trophy actually could intersect into something behind or underneath or whatnot, but size-wise, it matched up pretty well for doing the simulating a bottom for this elevator. Like, I believe this one's as large as it can get. So it worked out pretty well for that. I think I have it, like, slightly pushed into the wall as well. Now, the actual shelving, I used Rail Agent Manifest decorations. These you can get from Ticker secondhand. They're pretty cheap. Some amount of debt bonds, but yeah, again, they are pretty cheap, so you can put in more shelves if you want. You can put shelves elsewhere. I know when I made the kitchen build video, I mentioned these as well as possible shelving you can use for your kitchen. So a nice, cheap way to get some simple wall shelves. And just the items in here are just random Zariman food-related items. Still has food can decoration. What did I put in here? Oh, food tray, square spaghettis, protein blocks. Just want to have some representation of food-related stuff in there. Okay, next, before we do the big table, we're going to do the little table. Now, the positioning on this one is kind of weird. You might notice this, like, long, wire pole, whatever you want to call it here. This actually has something at the bottom of it that I wanted to hide. Let's see if it'll... let me show you. So, because of where I placed this flooring, the back room has several of these hanging lights, including this one right here. You can see one more clearly if we go to the other side of the room. These hanging lights. Now, the reason why this one is showing up in this position, this one is showing up right here, well, obviously because, like, the floor is, well, right below it. But if I put the flooring up any higher, my character could actually not walk across this area. I put this flooring down low enough. I had to put this flooring down low enough that I could actually walk from one side of this to the other with some decent amount of space. Now, if I put it up high enough that that hanging light was covered, so the floor would be like around right here, I could not walk across at all. There was not enough space between top of the ceiling and the floor to be able to walk from one area to the other on this. So I ended up lowering the floor to just to the very bottom of this hanging light, and I decided I would just cover it with something. And that something ended up being the dining table I used, the DeVere clerical desk. Now, going up, another thing I used for hiding some of this wire is kind of a large one, and trotty globe chandelier. Now, I could have used some other lighting fixture type thing. I ended up using this kind of a bulky one because at the time, again, we're going with pre-lighting fixes on February 6, 2025. At the time, this area back here, a little bit on the dark side, not much lighting getting through. So I wanted to put through some sort of manual place light, and I was going to hide that light source in this giant bulb right here. Like if you notice on the side, there's a little bit of these wispy, wingy feathery things kind of sticking out. Unfortunately, I couldn't get that completely hidden, so I just went for as best as I could. And actually, the articulate... So, quick note on this, and you can find I have another video showing how you do the manually placed lighting. I'll see if I remember to either put a link in the description or I'll put a link right in the video right now. But I'm using a Warframe Articula for this. Yeah, let me remove the weapon. For some reason, the weapon got changed from none to primary, so we had a gun sticking out there, which did not look good. Okay, let's see if I can get the Warframe Articula selected again. There we go. Local transform. Pretty much I just had to shift this back and forth. See if it'll let me shift it back and forth. It might not be. There we are. So there's the Articula I used. It used kind of a light, whitish, slightly warm white lighting on it. It's using the Asper's Apex Ephemera, which is available at time recording soon with the Operation Belly to the Beast event. It has to be unlocked there first, but as of now in Warframe, this Asper's Apex Ephemera is only available from the Operation Belly to the Beast event. Should be unlocked at some point before the end of the event, but the other Asper's Ephemeras from this event do not emit light. This ephemera is the only one that emits light. So I do use it to do kind of manually placed light sources of various colors. But again, I do have a video covering all of that. I'll put either a link to the description or again a link right in the video right here. If you go over here, you can actually see some of it. It's on the other side of that wall. But anyway, so giant globe light right here. I did that one versus some other light just to hide that manually placed light source. Now, another thing I did here is, because this is a big bulky light, I wanted to get it as high as I could. So if I try to move this up any higher, I'll put this on local again too, because we like doing stuff on local. Let's put it just a smidgen higher. You do not have enough remaining capacity to place decoration. This error message is incorrect. It just will not want me to place anything any higher than that light, where that light is right now. You'll get the same thing as sometimes if you're trying to embed stuff on the wall over on this side. So that's as high as I can place that big bulky decoration there. But I figured close enough. We'll go with that. Okay, so next thing, our big table over here. It is, in fact, a big table, so large table, in fact. Zimmerman table large. This is also slightly embedded into the wall. At its full size, it was sticking out quite a bit, so it was removing, like, walking space. So I just embedded it into the wall somewhat. Now, the items on here, majority are Zimmerman items. These two over here, Duviri Thermos, Duviri Mug, just general, generic, ambient decoration. They are freaking huge. I think I have these on the smallest scale right now. Get from a Kurthis, Duviri Vendor. Orkin tea set. These actually come from Teshin. You can turn this in for some amount of steel essence. I think it was 15 steel essence. I can't remember exactly. It's relatively cheap. It doesn't cost too much. But these have also, in the past year, they actually have dropped as a Twitch drop at least once as well. If you're not at the steel essence, steel path level yet. But yeah, these are one of my favorite housing items right here. Is this tea set. To go along with the tea set, we have tea steeper, and I'm using this Zimmerman food can as kind of like a tea canister. Further down, Zimmerman beverage dispenser, 0 platinum item. Zimmerman bottle, 0 platinum item. Lunch trays, knife, fork. Food pouch. Tumbler cup. Nutrition cube vibrator. Food container. All 0 platinum items. Now this broadleaf plant and nutrition dispenser, these are platinum items. However, they were in the Dormazone, so I stole them and moved them here. So that's a way you can get some Zimmerman platinum items for free. They are just sitting in your Dormazone. You can just take them. You don't have to pay any platinum for that. So I ended up raiding my Dormazone of all the kitchen items, and I have placed them at various points in this back room here. So these dinnerware sets right here, these come from Barrow. I can't remember off the top of the head how much they cost, but cheap enough that I have, like, I think at least 6 of them. They weren't too pricey. They're meant to be like museum exhibits from the Louverian type thing. Like, there's actually, I think there's a, let's see if it's got the text for it. Let me find it. Yep. Dishware, or can executor, blah blah blah, you use final meal with. So unfortunately it's like a stack of dishware, so you can't really put food on it, but I like the look of it. I like that it had the chopsticks in particular on its side, so I put that there. And also, one final thing for random one of 2 final things for random items. White fruit basket, these are from Cetus. I believe this one is a 50k rep one, so it takes at least a couple days of grinding rep to get this. I like the idea of having something of fresh fruit on this table. However, this basket is freaking huge. So when I originally had it on the table, I didn't like how large it was in comparison to everything else. Like, this basket right now is at its smallest scale. But I didn't like its scale compared to the rest of the items on the table, so I ended up putting it off to the side and having it on a barrel so it's not just sitting on the floor. What I end up putting on instead is this pizza right here, and it's not letting me highlight that, unfortunately. But this is, if you guys have done Steel Path before, if you finish all the nodes in an area, you get a Steel Path trophy. This pizza is actually the trophy for finishing all the 1999 nodes on Steel Path. Let me show you an example of another trophy. Tenno. We are picking on Uranus because it's funny. So these trophies, if I finish all the nodes on Uranus, they'll have a pliff at the bottom and the actual trophy part on the top. And they do spin, like that's the reason why this pizza's spinning right now, so it seems kind of weird. Now, I wanted to have just a straight up flat pizza. I didn't want the little pliff thing at the bottom to show. So I ended up hiding it with this Zerman storage box. Let me see if it'll let me move it out. It's freaking huge. So there's the pliff right. So ordinarily with the table on its own, there's the pliff showing up below the top of the table. I did not like that look. So I ended up hiding it, kind of giving the table a pseudo new bottom to it. So it's a bit more counter-like than table-like now. But I ended up hiding the pliff from this pizza trophy. Now the spinning, unfortunately, you can't stop, so just gonna have to deal with it. I do know that in terms of pizza decorations, the dojos are going to be getting some with the March 2025 Encore update. But it looks like, at least as of now, unfortunately, our own personal housing, the orbiters, the backrooms, the dorm zones are not going to have that as an available option put down. Otherwise, if it was, I'd be replacing this pizza trophy with an actual non-spinning pizza. Let's see, what do we have next? So next we're going to go up to the wall right here. Now, ordinarily, not the green plant. Let's see if it lets me select one, because there's a lot of green plants in the way. But yeah, I put the green plants here to hide the red wires. These are a little hard to select. Okay, display Argyle. Ordinarily, these displays are all platinum items. These Argyle ones are the exception. These are barrow items. So let me break out another one, actually, because I did buy multiple last time they were around. So how you would use these if you've never used these before. Let me get one. Rotate it out so you can see better. So you'll want to swap the image on this. It will take images from your codecs. Primarily, you also have these fan art images you can pick if you want. I think I showed this off somewhat back on my how to build a fireplace build. But for mine, I ended up picking objects that kind of had like a green, earthy, garden-y feel. So one of my go-tos for that is simply this earth one. Earth Settlements is also good. Some of the Deviri ones are also good. Let me see if I can find the Deviri one I picked real quick. If I can't find it really quick, I'll just pick one of the Earth ones. For some reason, for some of my Deviri ones, they're showing mainly as gray boxes. I don't know why it's doing that. It's a little weird. What's this one? And we'll go with this one. It's not the one I was looking for, but good enough. So you can change... Sure. You can scale up, scale down to kind of zoom in on the image. Let's put it at a little bit in the middle. And horizontal offset to move it from side to side. Vertical up and down. If you want just scale on a specific part of the image. So maybe we want to zoom in on this little part in the middle right here. So let's make the scale just a little bigger. But yeah, totally free decoration for your walls. This is the non-platinum version of these. And oh yeah, sometimes maybe you want to flip these as well. Something I've seen people do with these before is actually, and this doesn't work so well for the Argyle ones, unfortunately. But other versions of these, they have like flat sides. They'll use these as tiles. They'll like zoom in super close on a particular part of it. And they'll just have some sort of like tiled, maybe a floor work or wall work or something like that. Or another thing I've seen, which I'll just show you real quick, but this is also a platinum option. I use the same technique with one of these displays to show water for the sink. But yeah, this is platinum build-esque, I think. So we won't be highlighting that too much. That particular display squared I used there is a platinum item, though. So yeah, these displays, put them against the wall, local transform, embed them into the wall as much as you can get. As much as it'll let you. Again, you can only go so far. Now, if you end up hitting that option with this wall here, flip it. There we are. 180 it. So there's it, flush against the wall. You know, if you don't like how the image looks, how you flip after you flipped it. Let's do... Okay. I need to select this again. These are hard to select once they're against the wall, unfortunately. Flip horizontally. There's the original look at the image. But yeah, I ended up doing these 3 here. So this one's the Earth image. This one's the Earth settlements image. This one in the middle, some Deviri image. I can't remember the name. Let me see if it'll let me select it so I can see it. Oh, I had it there. This one is... Will I be able to see it? Hopefully. Looking for that telltale sign of a selected image, but maybe I won't find it. Yeah, either I missed it or it's not there, so. But, yeah. So this possible free wall decoration you can use there, but again, bearer item, you'll have to wait for it to come back, or wait for the TennoCon relay in July. So, yeah, going a little further back, my original thought on the little breakfast nook thingy, and having it by the window is I wanted to have kind of like a garden-like look, as well as like a Deviri-like look. What I ended up doing is building up kind of a garden-y area in the back here. So again, a lot of Zariman plants. A lot of these Zariman plants like hiding some of the metallic structure. And I figured, hey, these wires here, I'm just going to call them vines. They're vines. They're not green, but they're vines. But yeah, plants hiding. There was a vent thing going from ceiling down to the side, down some more. I hid most of that with Zariman plants, so you kind of have like a bush look here. Along the steel beam, I have a bunch. I might continue that all the way to the end of the steel beam. I haven't decided yet. Among this like metallic grid type thing here, I had a bunch of plants to hide a lot of that. So kind of like vine type things growing within that. Another thing I wanted to put back here was these flower items. These are come from Deviri. So you got 3 options: Deviri Fen Planner, Deviri. Let's see if it'll let me select it. I had it. Sick Platter. I hope I pronounced that right. Planter, not platter. And the Esfral Planter. So blue, yellow, red. And I ended up tucking them into various Deviri pots. So white artesian pots, Deviri pot. This white artesian pot and green's a Deviri pot. Small green artesian pot, Deviri pot. Just depending on the size and the width you have your Deviri pot, you just enlarge or shrink these hanging planters and just tuck them in. So these particular ones I don't have very wide. The ones back here, if you look down, they're actually almost kind of intersecting each other in here. If I made them much bigger, they'd actually go beyond the width of this white pot, so they aren't much bigger than this. Pot back here, do the same thing. These are all kind of intersecting with each other, these 5. So you got kind of like a flowery garden type look within these pots. So planted flowers, Zariman green plants. So it's a little bit of a variety of plants for your housing area. Now, the one thing I don't like about these hanging planters is hiding the actual hanger parts. Here I left them in the open. But for these other pots, I ended up hiding them with various things. So the ones these are kind of against the steel beam here. They're kind of hidden by the Zariman plants that I put on top of this steel beam. So not impossible to see, just a lot more difficult. Same for these hanging plants down here. I apart from maybe this one on the side. Kind of hidden by these Zimmerman green plants as well, so a little harder to see. I had one back here. I had another Zimmerman pot, not Zimmerman pot, Duviri pot that I put a plant in. I ended up hiding him and kind of hiding it instead with this decoration, the Prominence Whisk Totem. These are currently available from the Operation Belly the Beast event for, I believe it's 15 volatile motes. I ended up buying multiple of these, but this is kind of like, to give it kind of like a fairy type look, kind of hiding that hanger right there. It's not fully hiding it, but it's just, I guess you can call it a distraction from it or whatnot. But I took those same wisp and ended up hiding them within the bush here as well. Kind of give it like a fairy slash butterfly-esque look hidden within that plant. Another thing I put here, a couple things from Quill Onco and Cetus. Akani Stone, I hope I pronounced that right. Glowing Sentient Core decoration. Some other just ambient decoration I put here. This Akani Stone, 100k rep, which is a lot from him. You'll have to get your Eidolon hunts in for those, get the rep up. This one, the Glowing Sentient Core decorations, 50k rep, still kind of expensive. But yeah, get some Eidolon hunts in, do them with public. People know. If you don't know it yourself, you can pick it up from people in the public. You can read online how to do those hunts. You can get them done pretty quickly with a group, even a public group. In my experience playing it on public, people for the most part know what they're doing. Not entirely 100%, but usually good enough that you can churn out like 3 levels of it. But yeah, 100k rep, 50k rep those from Quill Onco. Pricey, gonna take a bit of work to get it, but I did like the look of having these within the garden, even though they aren't like Duviri related. I just like the glowing blue and whatnot, little extra stuff added in there. Now back here, Duviri barrel, smaller Duviri barrel here, larger here. This cat here is actually is a platinum item. It's not a free item. I just really like the look of the cat, so I'm just leaving it there. But the thing behind it, Andrade's Stratolizer, these you can get from Bird 3 for some amount of materials. It might be Stella, it might be the Netra coils, it might be a number of echoes of some sort. The price is never consistent. But it looked like a nice, like, green gold-esque. It matched at least well for the gold accents in this theme, so I thought, like, oh, that doesn't look too bad as a generic, almost garden gnome-like-esque random garden feature, so I put that there. And, well, the cat, I just really like the cat, even though it's not free, unfortunately. Now, one other thing I wanted to show you guys, semi-recently I was looking into how to do shadow boxing, which is people in their dojos mainly, but we've been able to recreate images by doing some sort of like light shadow technique and just using various furnishing objects to create like the different how I call it, parts of the image in different colors. So I'm not going to explain how to do that. That will make this video a hell of a lot longer, but I am going to show you guys something that I picked up from that I end up using here. Now what I'm going to show you, it's again technically a platinum item, but I'm adding this in because I have seen these drop from Twitch drops often enough. Like I showed these in my shower video as well. Let's see if I can find it. Note beacons. There's something else. If you want to do this in the dojo, there's actually a different item you'd use. But I will not cover that here because that's gonna make the video longer. So let me just place that straight up there for now. Now you notice I have these like this little red dot, the blue dot, this little butterfly-esque looking thing. I meant them to represent like fruit, berries, kind of the butterfly type thing hidden in the bush or tree or whatever you would call it here. I created that look with these note beacons. So first thing I want to do is get rid of this lighting.
Marked on navigation, Tenno.
Thank you, Lotus. Speaking of Operation Belly the Beast, yeah. So first thing I'm going to do, get rid of this white lighting. Change this to the darkest color you can. Like if you're a free-to-play player, it might be on the classic thing, it might be this gray down here. So it's still kind of showing. If you have other color options, and Stick's Color Picker might actually be free. I think I got this from free from something, but yeah, the darkest option there is a good option. When I learned about this, they recommended the smoke palette. The darkest color here, just a straight up black. We'll just go with that. But yeah, just some very dark option. It doesn't have to be completely black, but just dark enough so that the light is actually not showing. Intensity doesn't light length. Length will matter. Intensity won't. Now for edit text, and unfortunately, it won't be able to. It won't be able to. You won't be able to see me typing this in, unfortunately. I'll share a link of what I'm about to type in the description box below. But you're going to look for, there's these certain things called, let me get the proper name for it, text icons, where you type these in for your text, and instead of showing the text, it actually shows you an in-game image instead. So I'm going to do, let's first do the bluish balls we had. So that's going to be less than sign, energy in all caps, greater than sign. And what it will show you is actually an energy orb icon. So that is actually what I'm using for these little blue balls over here. And you know, this is animated too. It's actually one of the reasons why I used it. I kind of like the animated look. So scale-wise, I ended up shrinking this, not all the way, but pretty close. So it's much smaller. In primary color, secondary color, you don't need to worry about these because it's going to be showing the icon. It's not going to be showing any actual text. If you get into the shadow boxing thing, this will matter more, but in our case, it does not. Another option I put in instead of energy, let's say we do health. So like the health orbs. Second, I'm typing it in right now. Another animated one we have. And there are a ton of these you can put in, but there's only a few of them that are animated. Another one I liked, let's see, so the butterfly one. It's actually a legendary. This is what I use for kind of the butterfly-esque looking thing. And one other I ended up not leaving in, but I kind of like the look of it. Ostron Price. So OSTRON_price. And again, with the less than sign at the beginning, the greater than sign at the end. I really like the look of that. It's not animated though. I decided just to go with 3 options instead of the 4. But it also looks really pretty. For our example of me showing you this is the one I'll use though, because it is different from what I already have. So what I did for these, let me rotate it a little bit. Tuck these into the bush. I'll put it, let's say, roughly right there. Now you notice one problem with these as is by default is the bottom of this little note beacon sticks out. Literally sticks out from the pot. Also sticks out as it's higher than the pot. So a couple ways we can adjust this. So let's go with first edit decoration contents. We're going to want to up the length. So that's going to increase the size between that little icon at the top and the little beacon bottom at the bottom. So let's put this up. This will take a little trial and error. Let's try it here for now. 2.63 instead of 1.4. So that the little bottom of the beacon stays in place. But the icon shot up considerably. This actually might be high enough. Maybe a little too high, actually. But if I lower this... Yeah, it's actually a little bit too high. Let's lower that a little bit. Let's try 2.2. Good enough. Actually, no, let's lower that just a little more. Make it a straight up 2. Yeah, we'll go with that. So I lowered this. That's, let's say roughly I want it, that little icon to be somewhere in this general area. However, I need to tuck this bottom of the beacon into the pot here in order to hide it. So we'll start out placing it a little bit above. Constrain movement, local. Unfortunately, you just can't do a straight move it down below the pot. What you have to do is actually there's this rotate technique if you're having trouble with object collision. Just rotate something, let's say roughly 15 degrees in some direction. Let's go with it like that. Maybe you have to go 30, maybe you have to go 45. And again, constrain movement, local. And just do a little bit of a shimmy. Yeah, oh, I'm doing that in world. You can do a little bit of a shimmy back and forth on these. Until you get it hidden. And there's our icon, close enough to where I wanted it. Now if you want it to stick out a little bit more from the plant, you can also do a rotate on this. Let's see if I get the right rotation in. Okay, not the right rotation. Is it this right rotation? That's not the right rotation. Also not the right rotation. Wait a second. Make sure I get the right. That's not the right rotation. This is the right rotation. So let me straighten this out a little. Close enough. So, let's see if it works now. This isn't quite the right angle, but just to give you guys the right idea. If you want things to stick out a little bit from the plant, instead of hidden in the plant like this, you can rotate it so that forward a little bit with pitch. And it'll stick out just a little bit from the plant. I did that with all these, so originally my blue, my red, my little butterfly here were all embedded pretty far into the plant and the pipe behind the plant after I hit its little platform. So in order to make them stick out more, I just did a pitch rotation just to push them forward, just a little bit. They're still kind of hidden in, but not fully embedded. So let me... Yeah. So how I did that, but so this one, technically not a free option. However, these drop often enough from Twitch drops. You can get them for free if you want to try this out. But yeah, that is, I believe, everything I wanted to cover for this. Oh yeah, one other thing. I covered this in another video. I covered this in my kitchen video, actually, but I moved the technique up here as well. Green wall. So, different colored walls. This wall right here, default concrete color. This wall right here, green instead. White green artesian pots. I'll make this a really quick description. If you want to see a better description on how I did this, more details, go to my 0 Platinum kitchen build video. I covered it more there. But these are using these wide green artesian pots. These are the bottom of these pots, and I pushed them into the wall as much as it allowed me. You can push them into the wall enough that it, at least as of now, will show this like Entrati-like stencil design on top of it if you want. I'm using that same technique with the Zimmermann wall panels here, but yeah, if you want more detail about how placing these pots, you can go to my 0 Platinum kitchen video. I showed more detail about like fighting Z-fighting, sizing, and whatnot for these here. This green wall is only showing up on the top floor. I don't have it showing up on the bottom with our motorcycle area. But yeah, so that's the build we had here. This is how I did. So we got our little secret garden, our little breakfast nook dining area, the stairs up to it. And one other thing, I'm covering this because this is brand new to this area. With the February 6th update, as of that update, this light right here now actually emits light, which was part of the lighting fix of this, and it actually brightened up this area greatly, so it meant I didn't have to put in a whole bunch of manually placed light sources here. Like before that, this food elevator area was quite dark. I was going to place lighting around here so you could see everything here better, but now it looks pretty good. But I wanted to have a resting couch here, and now the area was too bright for it, so I just put a very modest screen there to block the light for this. Oh, kind of works. Still a little light going through, but yeah. The lighting got much improved after February 6th. Hopefully it stays that way, and hopefully this weird little shadow thing gets fixed, because that is really weird. But yeah, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will be covering other build videos in the future. I have multiple builds planned for other areas of the back room. No ETA on those. I'll have other videos covering other topics in the future. But thanks for watching, and have a good day, morning, evening, night. Thank you.